You've probably heard that the praying mantis always devours her mate, that black widows kill every male they encounter, that nature's cannibals are rare monsters, exceptions to the rule. But what if everything you thought you knew was wrong? Cannibalism isn't a glitch in nature, it's a feature. Across wetlands, forest edges, and open oceans, thousands of species have discovered the same unsettling truth. Sometimes, the fastest path to survival runs straight through your own kind. But here's what makes this story worth telling. These aren't acts of desperation. They're calculated investments. Evolution has spent millions of years refining when to eat, who to eat, and why it pays off. There's one species where the battle for survival begins before birth, inside the mother's body. And in some cases, the male doesn't just risk death. He accepts the risk. Why would evolution reward those who eat their own kind? The answer will change how you see the natural world. A meadow at dusk. The light is fading, golden, soft. The camera holds steady from a distance, watching a praying mantis perched on a single stem. Her triangular head rotates slowly, almost mechanically, scanning the world around her. She's the only predator that can look over its own shoulder. She's waiting. Somewhere nearby, hidden in the grass, a male has detected her scent. He's smaller, lighter, more vulnerable, and he's fully aware of what might happen next. The popular story is simple. She mates, then she eats him. Every single time, case closed. But science tells a different story. Studies on species like Tenodera sinensis and Mantis religiosa reveal that sexual cannibalism is far from guaranteed. Research published in behavioral ecology journals shows that the frequency varies dramatically, sometimes occurring in as few as 13 to 28% of encounters, depending on the conditions. The real trigger? Hunger. When females are well-fed, males often escape completely unharmed. But when resources are scarce, when she hasn't eaten in days, the calculation shifts. A male body provides protein, fat, and nutrients that can increase her egg production by significant margins. And here's the remarkable part. The male knows this. Studies indicate that males assess female hunger through behavioral cues. They watch her movements, they gauge her posture. They approach more cautiously when she appears aggressive or starved. Some males even avoid well-lit areas entirely, places where females hunt more effectively. Not far from there, in the same meadow, another male attempts a different strategy. He approaches from behind. Slowly, deliberately, he waits. He times his mount with precision, and he survives. Here's the reframe. The mantis isn't a mindless killer. She's an opportunist running a cost-benefit analysis in real time. And the male? He's not a passive victim. He's a calculated risk-taker, gambling his life against the survival of his genes. Cannibalism here is conditional, context-dependent. A negotiation, not a sentence. Deep in the architecture of a spider's web, silk threads catch the last light of afternoon. The camera pushes close, impossibly close, revealing the texture of each individual strand, the faint vibrations traveling through the structure like whispered messages. At the center sits a female black widow. Her hourglass marking catches what remains of the light. She breathes, she waits. A male approaches the edge of her web. He's a fraction of her size, almost impossibly small by comparison. In the world of widow spiders, this disparity is extreme. Males can weigh less than 2% of the female's total body mass. What happens next challenges everything you might assume. Research on Latrodectus hasseli, the Australian redback spider, revealed something unexpected. Males in this species don't just accept the risk of cannibalism, some actively facilitate it. During mating, males perform a somersault, a deliberate movement that positions their abdomen directly over the female's fangs. Why would evolution favor this? The answer lies in the data. Studies by researchers including Dr. Marianne Andrade at the University of Toronto demonstrated that males that don't survive the mating event achieve significantly longer copulation times. Longer copulation means more sperm transfer. More sperm transfer means higher paternity rates, a greater chance that his genes will be the ones carried forward. The male's body becomes a final gift, a protein package that keeps the female nourished and less likely to seek another mate anytime soon. Deeper into the habitat, the western black widow, Latrodectus hesperus, tells a slightly different story. Research shows that males in this species can detect chemical cues embedded in the female's silk. Before committing to approach, they assess her hunger level through these invisible signals. Well-fed females receive more courtship investment, more elaborate displays, more time, more effort. Starved females trigger caution or avoidance entirely. Here's the surprising fact. In many widow species, cannibalism rates in the wild are considerably lower than laboratory studies once suggested. Males aren't helpless. They read signals, they make choices, and sometimes they choose to be consumed. Because the genetic payoff outweighs the cost of continuing to live. Evolution doesn't care about survival for its own sake. It cares about reproduction. And in the widow's web, the end of one life can become the ultimate reproductive strategy. The Atlantic coastline stretches beneath us now, blue fading to black, light giving way to depth. The camera descends through the water column, past shafts of fractured sunlight, into the realm where sand tiger sharks patrol. Carcharias taurus, a species with a face only evolution could design, rows of unmistakable teeth protruding even when the mouth is closed. There's no hiding what this animal is built to do. But the real story isn't about how they hunt, it's about how they're born. Female sand tiger sharks possess 2 uteri. Inside each one, multiple embryos begin their development, nourished at first by yolk sacs, small reserves of nutrients that sustain them in those early stages. But as the embryos grow, something changes. The largest embryo in each uterus develops functional teeth while still inside the womb. And then, competition turns physical. Research published in journals including biology letters confirmed what scientists had long suspected: intrauterine cannibalism. The dominant embryo outcompetes and eliminates the others, along with unfertilized eggs continuously provided by the mother, until it becomes the sole survivor in its uterine chamber. This isn't accidental. This isn't dysfunction. This is a reproductive strategy refined over millions of years. Studies using genetic analysis revealed yet another layer to this story. Females mate with multiple males, which means the embryos competing inside her may have different fathers. The cannibalism creates a genetic tournament. Only the strongest, fastest developing offspring survive to be born. Follow the water and you'll find the consequence. Sand tiger sharks give birth to only 2 pups at a time, 1 from each uterus, but those pups emerge large, fully developed, and already experienced in competition before taking their first breath in open water. The invisible rule: in an ocean where infant mortality is extreme, quality beats quantity. The womb becomes an arena, and the winners have already proven their fitness before they even enter the world. This is the plot twist nature hides beneath the surface. Cannibalism doesn't begin after birth. For some species, it's the very first act of survival. The camera moves low now, pushing through reeds, water droplets clinging to the lens. We're at the edge of a temporary pond, the kind that forms after heavy rain and vanishes within weeks. A fleeting world. Beneath the surface, thousands of tadpoles compete for the same limited resources. Algae, detritus, space. Time is the enemy here. If the pond dries before metamorphosis is complete, everyone is lost. And so a different kind of cannibalism emerges. Research on species including spadefoot toads, genus Spea, and certain populations of cane toads documented a phenomenon that reshapes our understanding of amphibian development. Under high-density conditions, or when resources collapse, some tadpoles shift their diet entirely, and their bodies change with it. Studies published in journals, including Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, describe the development of what scientists call cannibal morphs. tadpoles that grow larger jaw muscles, wider mouths, and shorter intestines optimized for consuming animal protein instead of plant matter. These aren't mutations, they're plastic responses, the same genetic code expressing differently based on environmental triggers. The blueprint doesn't change, the expression does. What looks calm on the surface is actually a pressure cooker underneath. When density rises or food disappears, cannibalism rates increase sharply. Tadpoles consume siblings, competitors, and even tadpoles of other species sharing the same pool. The ecological consequence is profound. Cannibalism thins the population, reducing competition for those who remain. It accelerates individual growth by providing high-quality protein. And it synchronizes metamorphosis. The survivors transform into froglets faster, escaping the pond before it vanishes entirely. Research on invasive cane toads in Australia revealed an even more targeted behavior. Cane toad tadpoles are specifically attracted to the chemical cues of younger cane toad eggs and hatchlings. They preferentially cannibalize their own species' newest arrivals. Scientists hypothesize this may serve to regulate population density at invasion fronts, a kind of built-in population control written into their biology. The consequence for the ecosystem: cannibalism functions as a self-regulating mechanism. When the environment cannot support everyone, the population edits itself. It's harsh, it's efficient, and it's been working for hundreds of millions of years. 4 species, 4 habitats, 4 variations on the same ancient theme. The mantis in her meadow, making split-second calculations based on hunger and opportunity. The widow in her web, where males have turned their own end into a reproductive advantage. The shark in the womb, where competition begins before the first breath. The tadpole in the disappearing pond, reshaping its own body to survive the countdown. What connects them all? Energy. In every ecosystem on Earth, energy is the currency that matters. Acquiring it costs time. It costs effort. It costs risk. And sometimes, the most efficient source of energy isn't prey from another species. It's the competitor standing right beside you. Cannibalism emerges when the cost of competition exceeds the cost of consumption. When sharing resources means everyone loses. When the only path forward is through. This isn't cruelty. Nature doesn't operate on moral categories. It doesn't judge. It doesn't condemn. This is mathematics. Cold, relentless, optimized over evolutionary time. The mantis doesn't hate her mate. The shark embryo doesn't resent its siblings. The tadpole doesn't choose this path out of malice. They're all solving the same equation. How do I convert available resources into survival and reproduction as efficiently as possible? Cannibalism is one answer, and evolution keeps selecting for it across continents, across phyla, across hundreds of millions of years, because it works. The shocking truth isn't that cannibal animals exist. It's that they're everywhere, and they've been refining this strategy since long before anything walked on land. The next time you watch a nature documentary and see a predator take down prey, remember, that's the version of the story we're comfortable with. Hunter and hunted, different species, clear lines. But beneath the surface, in webs, in wombs, in ponds that won't last the season, a more intimate drama unfolds, one where the line between family and food dissolves entirely. Nature doesn't flinch from this reality. Maybe we shouldn't either. Understanding cannibalism doesn't make the natural world darker. It makes it clearer, more honest, more remarkable in its ruthless creativity. These animals aren't monsters. They're survivors playing by rules written long before humans existed to judge them. And in that, there's something worth respecting. If this changed how you see the natural world, consider subscribing. There's so much more to explore, and it only gets more fascinating from here. Now, a question for you. Which of these 4 stories surprised you the most? The mantis, the widow, the shark, or the tadpole? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what resonates with you. Until next time.